as well as fashion, jewelry, accessories, and lifestyle covers in an intimate and classy way. Join us each and every Wednesday with host Casey Benet as we chat up industry happenings, industry news, and perform live interviews with industry talent here on Blog Talk Radio at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Interested in contacting us or interested in attending one of our live shows? Email us at y-cladchat@y-clad.com. Y-Clad chat begins in 3, 2, 1.
Hello everyone! Hi, I'm Casey Benet, your host for the day. Welcome to Y-Clad Chat, where we chat up big city events, fill you in on industry news, keep you in the know with fashion and style, with a focus on jewels and accessories, of course, touch on lifestyle, and keep you abreast of industry content and information that will improve your life. On today's show, and in just a few moments, we'll chat it up with comedian and entrepreneur Majah. We'll touch on his story, his successes, and get some advice on how you can turn your art into a thriving business.
A couple of things before we get started. First, we want to let you guys know about a great promotion that we're running for our event space, the Hidden Gem. And Y-Clad's Hidden Gem event space is available for rent for your next event. And right now, if you say that you heard this on Y-Clad Chat, we're offering a free case of house wine or $100 off your next rental of 4 hours or more. So you can use the coupon code Y-Clad Chat online via email or call us. And before we get started, just to remind you guys, we've opened our lines for questions. So our number is 516-453-9170. And after the prompt, you just hit 1. Let us know you have a question for us or Majah Hype. Just call and talk to us.
For all you listeners, that was Kaylin Burke. That was the lovely Kaylin Burke, who sits beside me. She's my trusty sidekick. Okay, so yeah, we're going to start the show with Majah Hype, who's sitting here on my right. So how are you, my friend?
Oh man, I'm awesome. I'm blessed. It's a pleasure to be here.
Good.
Thank you for being on the show with us.
Okay.
That was a joke, Uncle Sam.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so otherwise known as Majah Hype.
Yeah, stick with that.
All right, we'll stick with that.
That's confirmed.
Okay. He's created popular. Okay, and you guys don't poke jokes with my somewhat not so authentic yet authentic accent.
Hold on. Why don't you let them know where you're from first?
Okay. And so he's created popular characters like Grandpa James, whose motto is to always remember it's best to be pissed off than to be pissed on. I like that. I think I'm going to use that.
Yeah, just ask R. Kelly.
Right. Good point of reference. And also Deras, right?
Yes.
Deras. A Jamaican Rasta, and you know, my daughter and my sister-in-law they're probably hysterical right now. Hysterical, like I can hear it. A Jamaican Rasta who has no tolerance for anything and responds to everything with,
Exactly.
Okay, so Majah Hype has worked with comedians such as Michael Blackson, Tony Wood, Jason Andors, Brooklyn Mike, Ag White, and Mike Yard. He's also been a featured artist on BET.com. So, ladies and gentlemen, Majah Hype. Okay, well, first of all, thank you for coming.
Definitely.
I say this all the time because people always talk about how excited I always am, but I can't help it. I'm just like an excited person. But I'm particularly excited that you're here because, you're Caribbean and I'm Caribbean, so it's
So you're not going to tell them where you're from? That's cool though, because I don't tell them.
I was just about to say, are you going to tell them where you're from?
Exactly.
I'll tell them.
That was an introductive statement. I was like, hold up, I'm not going to tell them either, so.
Okay, well, if you share, I'll share.
Okay.
So I guess we're not sharing.
But the thing about it is that I know where you're from.
I know where you're from too.
Okay. If you say
I don't know. I think I do, but I could be wrong because
I know you started
I know.
so I don't know if you know.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so other than being Caribbean, I think that we have a couple of things in common. Okay, so I'm really funny. I make myself laugh, and I mentioned the Caribbean thing. So I think we can be compadres, right? Compadres. Let me see. Where did we start? Okay, so let's start with, tell us about, and this is another question a lot of people hate that I start with, but I'm going to do it anyway. Tell us about Majah Hype, the person, you know, like who you are as an individual before we talk about the artist. Like, you know, what do you do on a day-to-day? Like, what is the life, you know, of Majah Hype?
Well, you know, being an entrepreneur, a lot of people don't understand that being an entrepreneur is a 24-hour job. It's not a 9 to 5 like a scheduled job. Going to the office, you get there at 9 o'clock, 5 o'clock, you're gone. Go home, get the kids, take them. You know, it's not a scheduled job. You know what I mean? So my day basically consists of waking up, getting ready, you know, taking the kids, getting the kids ready for school, stuff like that, and then immediately planning my day as far as, you know, what skits I'm gonna do, what jokes I'm gonna do, what characters I'm gonna use for the day.
So you do that from home?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yes, definitely do it from home, right here on this iPhone.
Oh, really?
I shoot it myself. I hold it in my hand like this.
I don't believe you.
I'm telling you this.
Really?
Yeah. I'm also a self-learner.
Okay.
I teach myself a lot of things. I taught myself graphics and stuff like that, Photoshop, stuff like that.
I tried. I didn't have that. I think I'm a self-teaching person.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm very self-reliant, and a lot of times you come across people in certain businesses that are not dependable. And I'm not the type of person that like to wait on stuff. So if I want to, say, shoot a skit or shoot a movie, and I call Chris, let's use Chris, and Chris says, you know, yeah, I'm gonna do it for you, and we shoot it, and I'm waiting 3 months for it to be edited. Guess what? I'm gonna teach myself how to use Final Cut or, you know, iMovie or whatever the case may be. So I taught myself how to do those things.
Like, next we gotta know, where did you come up with the name Majah Hype?
I started DJing, which is a long story, but we have time, no?
Yeah.
So let me start from when I was 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
No, you know, I'm a musician. I play 7 instruments.
Wow.
Wait, what instruments?
My main instrument is the alto saxophone, but that varies into, you know, any instrument that uses a reed. You know what I mean, such as clarinet, stuff like that. I also play, you know, brass instruments, trombone, trumpet. I play the percussion, drums, stuff like that, congos, stuff like that. Piano, guitar, bass guitar, you know. So I play a lot of different instruments, and, you know, growing up, in the time that I was growing up, musical instruments was being faded out.
Yeah.
And it started becoming more digital, electrical stuff. And I started DJing and producing with, you know, some of the more digital stuff like Planet Fat and stuff like that, and MP3s and all that stuff. And that's where I gained my name from, becoming a DJ.
Oh.
So that's where the name came from. When I became a DJ, I you know, everybody has an alias.
You guys had the crowd.
DJ, you know, strong chest or whatever you want to call it. Whatever the name may be, you know, whatever. I always wanted to.
DJ strong chest
I mean, you
on
know,
the mic.
DJ run the crowd, you know what I'm saying? Somebody, whatever. And, you know, I wanted a name that would strategically, you know, grab the people's attention and not basically be who I am as a person. You know what I mean? Because really and truly, there's nothing hype about me. I'm very humble and I'm very laid back. There's absolutely nothing hype about me. But when I'm in a party and I'm behind the turntables and I have a microphone in my hand, that's when the hype is.
Yeah.
You know, that's when it comes out. And, you know, the major part is basically because I never really want to do anything on a minor basis. You know what I'm saying? On a minor level or a minor scale. I always wanted everything to be to my best ability.
Right.
Yeah, so since you are kind of passive, like outside of it, how did you know you wanted to do comedy or that you were good at it?
Comedy to me is just being me naturally. That's my personality. You know what I mean? I was never a grouch. I was never, you know, this gangster, crazy guy. I was always a joker. You know what I mean? Even in school, I was the class clown. You know what I mean? Always wanted to make people laugh in the class. So, you know, you know, at that point in time, all the teachers used to be like, "You're never going to be nothing. you don't pay attention, da, 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 da. You know, and all this stuff. And here I am today making money out of being a clown, basically.
So how long have you been doing it professionally?
Professionally, I've been doing stand-up for about a year.
Okay.
And since I've embarked into this career, I've been on the road for a year.
That's amazing.
Like every weekend we have booked up going somewhere. You know what I mean? We just came back from England, Canada, Atlanta, Orlando, and Miami. That was just for the past week. You know what I mean? So, you know, we're doing a lot of traveling and stuff like that. And thank God all the shows have been sold out. Every last ticket has been sold out. So, you know, we're doing good.
Wow,
You know, in a capacity of 1,200 to 3,000 people, you know, it's a blessing.
So when you knew that you were, you can make people laugh from early age, but how did you know that you could turn, impersonating people and making skits into a business?
In impersonating and doing impressions, I think was a God-given talent. You know, a lot of us are, you know, here for a reason. You know, we have gifts and talents for what we do. You may be the best chef, or that could have been a gift, but you still have to, you know, do your research and practice at it and stuff like that. But I never really practiced at it. I just realized that, you know, I think it really comes from the music side of my life, because I play music not only by ear, but I also read music. But you know, I can hear something and play it right back over for you. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like I'm a tape recorder. So when I hear something, it can be, you know, done over in no time.
So did you have like a plan starting out, like how you were going to, gain a following, get people to listen to what you were putting out there?
No, not at all.
Just kind of happen.
I was actually working for New York City. I'm a certified electrician. And I was making 6 figures a year, enjoying life, you know what I mean? And I got laid off at the time, and I was basically just doing videos just for my personal following, the people that I really knew, which was probably like 1,200 people at that time. And I realized that some of my friends was adding their friends, and their friends were adding their friends, and you know, the following started accumulating, and it was getting out of control. And I'm like, this is not what I'm really playing, right?
Yeah.
This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. Then I realized that I had a following, and I'm obligated now to people. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's like, where's the next video? Where's the next video? So I started doing the next video, you know, and I was doing it probably on a weekly basis. Then it started into every 3 days. Then it started daily.
So you have 64,000 subscribers on YouTube, and you have over 323,000 followers on Instagram.
Right.
And just kind of going on what you were saying, okay, so your friends were reposting, but I mean, how does that translate to 300,000, followers?
I think, when I really took the video seriously, and I made it an obligation. I actually was called back into work. I was actually called back to work, and they're like, listen, I never forget the day, because that was the day, I took my leap of faith and really decided to pursue what I'm doing now instead of going back to work, because my foreman called me and he's like, I need you at work 6 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. And I'm like, tomorrow? I got people that want to see videos tomorrow. And to the common person, it's like, what type of, that's a no-brainer. Like,
So
you're going back to 6 figures, what are you doing?
Right, and that raises the question in my mind, were you seeing dollars at that point? I mean, were you seeing...
Not necessarily dollars, it was just that, from, like I said, from 5 years old, I've been in the entertainment business. So it's like, to do what you love or to do what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? And I've accumulated a certain amount of money that I knew I could at least survive for the next 2 years. You know what I mean? And budget myself properly. So, I said, you know what? Instead of going back to work, I'm going to pursue my career and, in entertainment and do, comedy. And since this is what people, really recognize and love, I'm going to just continue to do this. And you know, for the average social media comedian, if like say, let's just say, you know, you're a social media comedian and you're from Trinidad, you appeal. Just use that for instance. You're gonna appeal to the Trinidadian crowd. You're gonna appeal to that audience. You know what I mean?
That's if I was from there and I had the accent to go along with it. And,
just speaking.
Right, got it.
And I wanted to really stand out from just being a one nationality comedian.
Yeah.
Which in all actuality was an even harder job to do because I had to, when you could just do one joke, oh, Trinidadian mothers be like, you know what I'm saying? Or this is what, you know, Trinidadian families do today. You know what I'm saying? You'll do that one video and your day is done. But for me, I gotta do Haitian mothers be like, Jamaican mothers be like, Bayesian mothers be like, Spanish mothers be like, African mothers. So I had to do at least like 9 videos per day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
it's
saying?
crazy how you nail the accents, how you nail, like, I mean, a lot of it's stereotypes, but, you know, being raised in the culture, it's like, it's so true. I hate to say that, but it's
well,
like
you know what? A lot of, I prey on the stereotypes. You know, I like the stereotypes because it's funny. It's funny to me because guess what? Not every Trinidadian eats roti. Not every Jamaican smokes marijuana. You know, not every Haitian deals with voodoo. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's the stereotypes.
Yeah.
We know that's the stereotype, so why not make fun of it?
Okay, so for entrepreneurs like myself and others out there who are like, I don't know, pursuing whatever their dream is, and they wanted to sort of interact with their audience the way that you are. Just so you know, like a lot of what we do is sort of like business news, so kind of, okay. So from that perspective, you know, how would I engage, how can I mean, I don't do comedy, I mean I can, but, but I don't.
Well, everybody's a comedian.
I know.
Really and truly.
How, like, if you had to give a tip or some kind of advice on what, so, you know, an entrepreneur can do to engage their audience, what would it be?
Well, for one, I would say to stick to what you want to do. You know what I mean? A lot of comedians that's out there today don't really want to be comedians, but it's a gateway to exposure to try to open up something else. And I feel like that's not the way to do it. Like you can't be a rapper and this is your dream. You want to be a rapper. This is my dream, to be a rapper. But guess what? Everybody's laughing at what I'm doing, so I'm gonna use this to show them that I'm a rapper. No, that's not what's gonna happen, because what's gonna happen is people is gonna love your comedy and they're not gonna want to hear you rap. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to hear that. That's not what I want. I'm not on your page to hear you rap. I'm here because you're funny.
Because that's what I know you for.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
So this is what a lot of the comedians today are doing. They're really trying to transcend into something else, and that's not what it is. If you're not pursuing comedy, then you shouldn't be doing comedy. If you're not pursuing opening a boutique, then you should not be selling fruit. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I actually left my job and stopped DJing and doing a lot of different things. I had to reconstruct my whole lifestyle and my whole life to do what I'm doing right now. You know what I'm saying? And I would say for an entrepreneur, just utilize your platforms, you know, promote yourself as much as possible, because there's no one that's going to promote you like you promote yourself. You know what I mean? Even if you was to get a deal, you could ask how many singers, rappers, actors, how many of them have signed contracts and are not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? Because we're living in a day and age where it's more self-work than corporate America doing the work for you. Back when, you know, they had like singers and DJs and rappers and stuff like that, you would get a deal and they would have a budget for promo, for shows, for stuff like that. There's no promo no more. We're not promoting you. If you're not hot, first of all, we're not even signing you. That's how it is today. If you don't have a buzz on the street and people don't know who you are, we don't really want nothing to do with you, because records are not selling anymore, CDs are not selling, so it's more just going on iTunes and buying that one favorite song off the album and stuff like that. So, you have to promote yourself to your best ability. Use every platform that there is. I mean, social media has made things so much easier for people to be out there. You know what I mean? Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, Snapchat. You have so many different outlets. You know what I mean? And once you promoting yourself and promote what you want to do, and you honestly love what you're doing, then I don't see what the problem should be.
That success is at your door.
Exactly. I mean, you know what it is? To me, I think that people see other people's progress and success, and they feel like they should be there. Everybody has their own time of when when it's going to happen for you. You can't look at somebody else and be like, well, it's not happening for me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people feel like I'm this fly-by-night comedian, but the progress that I've reached has been rapid, but this is years of in the making. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of groundwork and behind-the-scenes work that a lot of people don't know about.
So it's safe to say that you are the Kevin Hart of the Caribbean. Now, do you plan on broadening your audience? Expanding in terms of the type of comedy you do, or is there anything in the works for that?
Definitely. I do Caribbean. I mean, people know me for Caribbean comedy, but I also Spanish people don't consider themselves to be Caribbean.
No.
They're Spanish. You know what I'm saying? They're Latin. You know what I mean? So I do Latin jokes as well. I also do African jokes. Nigerian, Senegalese, you know what I'm saying, Ghanaian. You know what I'm saying? I do things outside of Caribbean. And I also do American jokes as well. So, people love it more in the Caribbean because now they have a voice. You know what I mean? So the people who have a voice now, they're going to love it more. But when you think about American comedy, there's a million people out there that's doing that. You know what I mean? I feel like as though I've created my own lane. And that's why the publicity and the exposure is there so much, because I'm basically really and truly the only person doing it on the scale that I'm doing it on. You know what I'm saying? Like, my platforms is a melting pot for everyone. So everyone comes to this one platform to get their jokes. When you have the Jamaican comedian, you have the African comedian, the Trinidadian comedian, they're only gonna really get that audience of who they're, you know what I'm saying? But I'm really here for everybody. So, I'm definitely gonna embark into, mainstream, but I'm not gonna sell out my people and who supported me and who,
What does that mean though? Like, I hear that term and I just don't understand what that means.
For me, it means to forget about the people who you originally started with.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? To me, I think there's a market in Hollywood or sitcom and stuff like that. There's a market for Caribbean people there as well. You know what I mean? But the people who don't know any better just really, from the time you speak with an accent, they just really have you as a Jamaican. You know what I'm saying? And that's not what it is. You have people from Grenada, you have Barbados. Rihanna basically put Barbados on the map as far as, saying differentiating them from Jamaica. You know what I mean? And then you have Foxy Brown and Nicki Minaj that told people that they are of Trinidadian descent, but they don't really rep it like that, I don't think.
No, I don't think either.
I don't think they really rep it like that.
I didn't know that until now. So.
You see? like any given day, you can hear Nicki Minaj talk like a Jamaican, but you would never hear her talk like a Trinidadian.
She's done skits too. I've seen
So I think there's a market, and there's a lot of famous people that's already established out there that are from Caribbean descendant, if not from there themselves. You know what I mean? And this is the strength and the unity that we need to create our own market. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Caribbean people love music. We love going to the movies. We love watching sitcoms. Everybody I know watches Power and Empire, and they all Caribbean people. You know what I'm saying? We have numbers and percentage in that as well. You know what I'm saying? So we have our own market.
Yeah, what you're saying is true. What's interesting is that most people don't know that. You know, for the most part, people wouldn't know that.
Of course.
Okay, so my husband and I have like visited many comedy clubs. Like we've frequented many comedy clubs. So that's really his thing. And so I have to go. And anyway, and so there's one place in particular that we kind of, I can't say the name, but there's one place in particular that we frequented. And at first it was really cool, but then after a while, like, you know, you'll see the same comedians, and they'll tell the same jokes, but just in a different order. And then you're just like, okay, and then we just stop going. All right. I say it to say, like, you know, I was watching something, and I saw where you said that, you know, you would improvise, you have this improvisational thing. I don't know, whatever.
Stick with improv.
Okay. And so I guess my question then is, you know, how do you do that? Holy crap! Like, how do you go somewhere and just say, okay, this is what it is, and just kind of just start like
Know it's gonna be funny,
and then know it's gonna be funny.
Mainly, I think that a lot of that has to do with the background of being a DJ. Being a DJ, you gotta command the crowd. You have to command the crowd, because I've been to so many parties where DJs are playing, they're DJing, their head is down, they're in the mixing board or whatever, and nobody's dancing. Nobody's moving. And it's like, is this guy really a DJ, or does he just own a laptop and he's just playing by BPM? It's like, what's going on? Because a DJ is supposed to move the crowd. You know what I mean? This is why we hired you, so we can have a good time tonight. You understand what I'm saying? So I think a lot of my instinct of comedy comes from that. Also, I won't write actual jokes, but I'll write topics. You know what I mean? Such as, for instance, let's say, when a Caribbean parent, when a teacher calls a Caribbean home, you know, Caribbean people know that, listen, you don't let your teacher call the house. You better get home before she calls and act like you're Mr. Samuels, or just don't let the teacher call. You know what I mean? And everybody, the most important thing to a joke is to be able to tell the truth and let it be able for people to relate to. You know what I mean? If nobody in the crowd relates to your joke, then you're the only person laughing. The joke's on you. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not familiar with that. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? But if you can gravitate to the crowd and everybody is like, okay, well, that is a fact. And that's where most successful comedians come from. You know what I mean? There's different ways of becoming a successful stand-up comedian. You know, either you're gonna have the joke on yourself, where you're not ashamed to laugh at yourself, or you're gonna be able to do it where people can relate to your jokes. You know what I mean? And I think that Caribbean people on the whole, because when I do my stand-up shows, it's not a one-based crowd. It's a mixed crowd. There's Guyanese, there's Asian, there's Haitian, there's Jamaican, Trinidadian, everybody's in there. And my jokes, I realize that everybody can relate to those jokes. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, basically, most of my jokes come from experiences. You know what I mean? Yeah. Things that I've been through, that I know that, you know, by speaking to other friends and stuff like that, realizing that this is not only in my household, this happens on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? In a Caribbean standard house, period. So that's where I try to be funny, that by just having everybody relate to the same joke.
And for your online stuff, we love your segment, Dato's Casino. We laugh so hard when you say that. I'm not saying it. You guys.
Wait, we didn't even hear what segment you're talking about.
DDPMO.
Yeah, DDPMO.
You know, to me, I feel like it's an open book for everybody, because even if you're retired and you go to Target, let's say, or any department store, and you're online, and when it's your turn, they flick the light off and say, oh yeah, this lane is closed. That pisses you off, because you sat here for 15 minutes, and now you gotta move to the next line, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying? Or when you go up to the register.
That's the reason to just blow up the whole building.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? Or when you go up to the register and you got a water in your hand and say, how much is this? And the cashier might say, will that be all? And you're like, will that be all? Like, this is all I have, just water. Like, what else do you want me to pay for? You know what I'm saying? Things like that is irritating to people, you know what I'm saying? So Friday is the day where it's the weekend. You forget about the past, forget about the week, how bad it was, or whatever, you know, whatever negative situations you've been through. And
Let out some steam.
you let out the steam.
Yeah.
And when you let it out, you forget about it and you enjoy your weekend. Go to the bar or the pub or the club or whatever and enjoy life, you know?
And so you just had a DDP
That's
yeah, comedy show this past January here in New York. And do you have any other shows coming up that we should know about?
We're actually working on a show for probably middle or ending of August, which is going to be, I'm not going to mention where it's going to be yet, but it's going to be in a big establishment, and it's going to be me and some other comedians. It's actually going to be probably Team West Indies versus Team Africa. So it's going to be...
Oh wait, did you guys do something like this in Canada?
Yes, we're actually trying to bring that show to New York, so that's what we're
That
doing.
would be really interesting.
Yeah. So we're going to do that show. This is, you know, we're just putting all the analytics together and stuff like that. And, you know, we'll have a good time, you know. I've been traveling so much that people don't even realize that I live in New York. Like, I look at some of the comments and people are like, when are you coming to New York? I'm like, when I'm coming, I live here. I'm here right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, even when I go to like Canada and certain places, they're like, oh, snap. You know, I go to the mall in Canada, they're like, I didn't know you live here. I don't. I live in New York. I was here for a show. Oh, we didn't even know about the show. You know, everybody always says they never know about the show. But the shows are sold out, so that's a good thing.
And then besides like the show coming up, are there any other new projects that are in the works for you?
Well, I have 2 movie scripts that I'm working on.
Oh,
cool. The scripts are actually, I would say 90 to 95% finished. And we're going to start filming it. And I'm going to finish it as we go along. Because most of it, well, 2. One is a short film, which is going to be a comedy.
that you're doing?
Yes,
Or, okay.
yes. It's our project, high media project. That short film is called Foreign Minds Think Alike, which is going to be a host of all of my characters that I've done. I'm going to probably be playing about 5 different characters in one movie.
Wow.
You know what I
It's
mean?
gonna be crazy.
Definitely. Because I mean, I just feel like the Caribbean, we need to show, you know, outside of the Caribbean, another side of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's nothing like that.
Most of the Caribbean movies that come out is either about a gangster or some guy selling drugs, and it's just sad. You know what I mean? Like, we have comedy, we have romance, we have all these things too in our lives. You know what I mean? So let's show the other, you know, the other ethnicities about it. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be shooting that. It's probably going to be about a 45-minute movie, short film. And then I have a full feature called All About My King. That's not so much a comedy, but it's a drama. So we're going to be working on both of those films this year.
Yeah, let us know when they
Yeah.
come out. We would love to watch.
Definitely.
Hopefully you'll come back.
Definitely.
Awesome.
I could probably get a casting. You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Being that you're Caribbean, you know, you can come and say some words.
Yeah, cool. Okay,
Like,
whatever.
what
We
do
know.
you call that? The food that they eat.
Pomsite?
Huh?
What?
What is that?
Nothing. Whoa, I don't know what you're talking about.
You actually said it good, pump stick. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. But I was thinking about the dough with the chicken inside of it, and the potato and the chutney.
Kalori?
No, the dough with the chicken inside and.
Oh, double.
Oh, no, not that either.
I was gonna know the roti can be. Oh, you know what, dude? You're like, oh.
I just wanted to know if you was gonna say roti or roti. That's all. You said doubles. Doubles don't have meat in it.
I know, but it's just the way you explained it and the motion I have. Like, what? That was so funny.
Who I am, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. It's M-A-J-A-H, not Majah, but Majah. A lot of people call me Majah. M-A-J-A-H-H-Y-P-E.
Wait, can I just say I was guilty of that until like
Well, Majah is actually the correct spelling, but being that I speak Caribbean Ebonics, you know, we call it Majah. You know what I'm saying? So it's Majah height. You know, and on Twitter it's Majah Hype World at WORLD. And Facebook is the same spelling, Majah Hype. YouTube, my YouTube channel is Majah Hype. Make sure you subscribe. Go check out some of the videos. And you could check out my website as well. I'mSoMajah.com, .net, .org, .biz, whatever you want to put in. Check it out. I'mSoMajah, and that's the website.
I like that actually. I'm so major.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm so major.
Yeah, you can be so major, you can be so major, everybody's so major.
I know.
That's what it is. You know, we have apparel there that we sell, merchandise as well. And also we have our show dates on the website and stuff like that. And you can contact us, you know, for any information there on the website. And, you know, that's what it is. That's what we're doing.
First off, we have to do the designer feature of the day, and Casey and I are both wearing it right now. It's the royal necklace. It's 22 karat, gold plated with sea blue and pale green chalcedony stones.
Yes.
And she's wearing it doubled up on the long version.
We're flossing, Scarlett.
Yes, and then
Scarlett.
you got the bangles onto the Lake Side
Yes.
Bangles. They're all by Korea. They're also 22 karat gold plated, and you can wear them together, separately. You know, stack them up. Yeah, different metals. They look awesome.
What do you think?
It's awesome, I love it.
Style.
You don't sound convinced.
No, it's not. I just don't want to look there because your husband is very diesel. He's a very strong man. I don't want to look there.
Okay, guys.
Is it my time for the news?
Yes, here.
Hi, I'm Jack Fleek, and this is your local news.
Kiss Air Candles has announced the launch of the Ice Cream Parlor collection for summer, featuring 5 scented candles inspired by popular summer treats. The new scents that are now available are
Rum raisin,
caramel and maple syrup,
mango sherbet,
and black cherry.
and mint chocolate chip.
The Limited has added Reserve online, ready in store to its 225 full retail stores. This program lets customers shop thelimited.com, put items on hold for purchase, and then pick them up at their location. With Reserve online, ready in store, customers who reserve items online receive an email or text within 2 hours notifying them that the items are ready for pickup and the instructions on how to do so. Amazon added free same-day delivery services for Amazon Prime members, provided they place their orders by noon that day. And lastly, there's no secret that New York City retail rents have been rising. The rent has gone up in 16 of the 17 popular retail corridors. There was a survey report conducted which found that the steepest increases are in popular shopping destinations where residential developments has taken a rise. Even in our own 57th Street between 5th and Park Avenue locations has gone up 60%. We'll post percentage increases by corridor on our Hidden Gem site for those of you who are interested.
Okay, now the events section. For those of you guys in Chicago, there's the Chicago Food Truck Festival at Cellular Field Armour Square Park. That's June 27th through Sunday, June 28th. It's free, which is awesome. They have food trucks there and live entertainment, so if you want to know more about that, go to chgofoodtruckfest.com. And then for those of you in New York City, starting this Friday, King Quick is Governor's Ball Music Festival, and tickets are still available.
Do you guys do the major?
Oh,
I flubbed. Have you guys gone to the Governor's Ball before?
No.
Okay.
We have not.
Okay, next week's show, guys, we're going to have our expert fitness person, Glendon. He's going to be here, and he'll be putting myself and Kaylin through a regimen, and that's simple enough to do at home, but tough enough to get results. Connect with us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter to stay in the know. Thank you guys for hanging with us today, and remember, love life and wear it well. Good night, guys.
That's right.
That bitch was like, I know you're a guy. I know
So
you're
is
a
this like
guy.
a trainer too? Is this a trainer? So how is that?
He hates me.
What do you differentiate, like the difference between a relationship and being a trainer?